Good afternoon, guys. What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. We are back home, back in the garage today. Hopefully today, we'll see how far we get. And don't mind this mess here. We haven't really gotten a day to clean up. We got a cleanup day coming up soon. But today we're gonna be working on the first gen, and hopefully by the end of the day, like I was saying, we'll have some progress on the seats. That is what we're gonna be working on today. We're trying to get those seats in there, get that seat mount lowered so we can get the seats a little bit lowered. The seats are ready to go in. We could put them in like that, but there's some improvements to be made, and we wanna try and get them a little bit lower because I'm a little bit of a taller guy, and they're just sitting up way too high for me to feel comfortable. So we're gonna try and lower those down, modify that bracket. Our good buddy Mark is coming by, and he's gonna give us a hand, and we're gonna see how far we get, and then we can try and tackle the center console, getting that in and mounted. We've got a pretty good idea of how everything's gonna lay out. It's just getting the work done, so that's what we're gonna be working on today. I also have somebody new that I wanna introduce you to. He's been kind of hanging out in the background a little bit, but he's used to getting beat on, so I don't want you guys to be too mean, but I wanna introduce you guys to him. That is our man Harvey over here. Harvey the Vice. Our man Mark had this England, where does it say? It says made in England over here. Made in England. We've got a Vice now. Mark painted this up for us. This thing was a little crusty, rusty looking, but he revived it. He brought it back to life just like he does everything else, and he dropped this off for us not all that long ago. So meet Harvey. Harvey is a new addition to the shop. Did you get the reference? He's used to getting beat on. He's a Vice. Get it? Not really. Okay, got it. But anyway, we have a Vice. We're going to be bending some pipes. So the first thing we actually got to do today is get this thing mounted, because we're going to be using some flat stock here to modify that bracket. So we got to get this thing mounted up. I eventually want to try and get, again, don't mind the mess, get the wire wheel stuff bolted through here as well. The suspension / wheel and tire setup on the first gen is going to be changing soon again. We have some parts ordered that we are waiting to come in before we kind of do anything else. I want to get the stuff that's on order. You guys will see coming up. I want to get that stuff on, and then we can fiddle fart around with the rest of this stuff. Mark actually sourced us some good leaf springs that we'll be able to use if we need them. So we have those, and then we can change the rest of it. So hopefully that made some kind of sense. If you guys are wondering why the big push for getting the first gen kind of done and ready is Motorama. I've mentioned it a ton, but make sure you guys have Motorama on your calendars. Harrisburg Farm Show Complex. Everybody's going to be out there. You're going to want to be out there. Our man Mikey G, Dirty Diesels, John Muldoon, everyone's going to be out there. So make sure you guys have that on 17th and 18th, I believe it is. So come out and say hello. All the wrenchwork stuff will be out there. Allie will be out there, and we're just going to be having a good time. So come out and say hello. Come meet us. Alrighty, job one of today. Install the Vice is done. Harvey is ready to roll for some bending. Next up, we are going to take the seats off of the seat bracket, lay it in here, and start getting some measurements and starting cutting and chopping. Alrighty, so here is the bare seat bracket laid on the floor. You can kind of see the clearance that we have here. So what we're going to do is right here, we are basically going to make that as short as possible. Take that, what looks like to be an inch, completely off of that, lay this back down on here, and that will get this basically right on the ground. And then whatever we take out of this, we're gonna measure off of this front side and then drop that down to kind of maintain the angle. We're going to do that on all 4 sides for now and leave the base completely together, and then we're going to make separate tabs up for the other side, and then we're going to cut out the middle, the very, very last thing. We're also going to shorten up this edge so you don't see this when you pop open the door. That's going to be tucked underneath of the truck quite a bit. So that's the plan. We're going to basically put this bar right on the ground, lower that down, get rid of this. It's time to start chopping, cutting, grinding, welding. We're going to do that over here so we don't throw sparks against the trucks, but that's the general gist of it. Here we go. We've been lopping, cutting, grinding. What do we got here, Mark?
Here's what we got. All right, we're just gonna kind of mimic that for that side there.
Greg had to take a bathroom break. Look at that. Look at you go.
Is that good?
Would you look at that?
Are you happy with that?
Are you using Harvey?
Harvey's getting used, man.
And his best friend Eastwing?
Eastwing. The color matched them.
Mark painted the hammer too.
You need a matching hammer.
You've got slight issues.
And you got your nice 4-pound hammer.
So what are you doing? You just whack? You just get in a little tally whack?
We're gonna do.
And then so we have to. Let me.
You want to grab the other?
I'll show you what we're doing. I'll show you what we're doing. You guys, you might be slightly confused right now. So we cut off all the mounting tabs to drop them down, and then eventually, this is the back, which is the short one. So we got these marked. So this is now going to sit really, really low, just like that. And then what we're gonna do, well, actually, that one's gonna go there. This one's gonna stay. I got the wrong side.
Right here.
Right, so that's the one we cut off. That was originally like here. So we're gonna drop that down, and then this one is gonna make up this second part over here, and then we're gonna chop that thing right in half so the seat bases can be individual. And then this is the back one. So now we're just gonna measure what we cut off of this, take it off this back one, do the same thing. You guys will see it. It's gonna come together. It's gonna come together. So where are we at, Mark? We gotta make one more of these.
Yep.
And then we're gonna make the back ones. Okay. Mark's got it all under control. What am I doing here? We have the new brackets just tacked on here. It's riding up just a little bit on the sound deadening material, but it's going to obviously get chopped off there. So we got the seat holes lined up. We're just trying to mark exactly where we need to put these and kind of tweak them. And that's what Mark is attempting to do over there. After a lot of hemming and hawing and gibbering and jabbering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it all tucked in nicely.
So, and then we are gonna then duplicate this and that right here and right there and yada yada yada, and then we're going to be good. Then we'll have 2 individual seat bases. Hope I'm explaining this kind of good. I don't think so, but and then we're going to, now that we shorten this, we're going to run another tab right here, and then we're going to reconnect everything like so. Insto presto, right? All Alrighty guys, we are making headway on the bracket. It's in the truck, I will show you. I'm taking the leaf springs out of the back of Mark's truck. I can't. Mark drives like an animal. Alrighty guys, we're in good shape. We made a bunch of progress. We are pretty much ready to make some more gussets. You can hear them for miles. So we've got these other tabs tack welded on that are pretty much mimicking these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a straight bar across here. I'm going to nip these off, and then we're going to run another support. So these are still going to be supported by 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and then this gusset is going to be attached here as well. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to chop this, because these are now pretty much individual seat brackets. Then I'm going to run a gusset from here to here, here to here, and then I'm gonna get all this tacked in so tomorrow we can finish weld all of this stuff, do the same thing to the other side, and then we can start working on the center console. We did run out of the wire that Mark likes, whether, I think it's like 30 or 25, I forget. So we're running a heavier wire now, so we're really just tacking this stuff on here until tomorrow. I'm gonna go get some thinner welding rod, and we'll be in good shape, and then we'll get the sliders back on. I'll repaint everything. It's gonna be sweet. So we dropped the seats pretty much down, I would say 1.5 inches. I would say probably is a good estimate, maybe just a smidge more, but this should definitely help get the seats down a little further, so my head's not, you know, up here. So that's what we're gonna do to finish out the night. We'll be in good shape. One more night, the seats will be pretty much good to go. I'll have to paint the brackets a separate night, but the center console is going in. Alrighty guys, currently a little past 9 o'clock. That is going to be all the time that we have. Basically got them separated into 2 separate brackets. Got all of the pieces made, got all of the gusset pieces made here that we are going to run like that on that side. This one on this side. And then the flat plate right here. I started smoothing out some of the edges, same over here. All the pieces are made. Should be pretty easy tomorrow to start finish welding all of that. Got the carpet trimmed out. I am gonna mount them directly right to the floor, not any carpet, just because the factory seat was already mounted directly to the floor, not the padding. So I'm gonna mimic that so I don't have any lopsidedness. We did actually change the angle. A lot of seats, they'll be pitched up like that. We kind of flattened it out a little bit more. That way it's easier for the legs to kind of, you know, just drape in the natural position, not so much at a steep angle, which also will allow us to try and maybe tip that seat back a little bit. So really good progress for tonight. Really happy with the way everything is turning out. I said tomorrow we should be able to get pretty much wrapped up and then get a good start, maybe even finish, depending on how the center console goes, to mount that directly to the floor. The wife is at home cooking dinner, and she's nice enough to make it this late. So we gotta go home. We gotta spend a little bit of time with her, shower, eat, and we'll be back tomorrow, back at it again. I do want to mention one thing. John from Freedom Racing Engines did send us a little teaser of the engine for the 05. It is coming together. I'll put it up on the screen now. It will not be long before we have a heart back for the 05. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped. I'm so ready to have that thing back. We'll be driving it on the street. A lot of questions about the drag truck and what the 05 is going to do now. Pretty much just going to be another weekend toy, but we're going to drive it a lot more. We're not going to wait. You know, it's not a race vehicle. It's going to be everyday, semi-daily, just street truck build, if that makes any sense. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.